because I believe every woman has a story to tell. And we all have so much more in common than we think. These are the women next to me.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Hillman with The Women Next to Me. This is an interview series about powerful and impactful women, because women should live in a world where they're supportive of each other versus against each other. So this is my first interview, and I'm beyond excited to interview my mom. Hi, Mom. Hello. So one thing that maybe should be said is, as much as I maybe love to be in front of the camera, my mom might feel the opposite. So I'm not sure where this all came from, but that doesn't mean that my mom has not been one of the most impactful women in my life. And she has a story to tell, even though she thinks she doesn't. But one of the things that we do in our interview series is we talk about our favorite go-to mug. So this is the one that I've talked about before, because I can hold a full Keurig and a half of coffee in this with lots of creamer. So this is my go-to mug. Mom, what's your go-to mug?
This is my go-to mug. What I love about this one is that it's so tall, so no matter what I put in here, it will never overflow, which is great. And every time I say that, I think about my first trip that I went to Starbucks and I ordered a small. And then she said, "You mean a tall?" And I said, "Well, no, I want a small," because I thought you didn't hear me. So we went back and forth about 3 times. And finally I said, "You know what? Whatever the smallest one is, whatever you call it, that's the one I'll take." So I did learn now that a small at Starbucks is really called a tall. So
that's Starbucks in their ordering systems.
I know.
Okay, so let's get down to this interview. I know a lot about you, but the world doesn't know maybe a lot about you. So let's talk about your childhood. What is a very vivid memory that you have of your childhood?
Probably my most favorite memories are, we had a lake, a place at the lake. Mm-hmm. And so every weekend, Friday when my dad got off work, we would head to the lake. And we would be at the lake all weekend, swimming and boating and all those things. I think what I really, as I look back on that, my mom was raised on a farm and she was scared to death of water. And so she wanted to make sure that her children would never be afraid of water. So she had some swimming lessons at a very young age. And I admire that in my mom, that she was so afraid of water. In fact, the water would get up to her ankles and she would say, "I can't breathe." And then she'd head back to the beach.
Interesting.
But yet she was such a good sport. And we always, would go on boat rides, and she was just a really good sport. We just had a lot of fun.
And you guys had a lot of cousins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever done a count of all the cousins?
I have, but I don't remember.
Okay. And most of them were at the lake at some point in time, correct?
For sure. Every weekend there was it was never just our family.
Yeah.
It was always extended family.
And so I think that maybe has a lot to play in your and Dad's value of having family and cousins together, and with you guys having a place at the lake now and enjoying all that time together.
It's so true. Yeah, so true.
I love that.
I do remember the lake, especially on holidays, 4th of July. The uncles and aunts would bring campers and tents, and the whole yard would be full of campers and tents. And it's just fun.
And probably a lot of chaos, but in a good way.
You know what? A lot of shenanigans. For sure. Mm-hmm.
So maybe it needs to be said that Grandpa, your dad, was, what's a good word? It's not like he liked to cause trouble, but life maybe was never boring with him.
No.
It was never vanilla. Like
oh no. He loved life. Yeah, he knew the best.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so what's something was there ever a pivotal moment in your childhood or adulthood that has shaped your values and beliefs that you have now?
I was raised in a Christian home, a strong faith. And I think probably as an adult, that really came when I got hired in a job that I knew I really probably wasn't qualified to do, but yet they saw that in me. And I give thanks for that. I got to open a preschool, and I've been able to direct the preschool for over 20 years now. And I didn't think I didn't know if I could do it. I was excited about the opportunity, but I didn't know if I could do it. And I remember talking to a friend, and she said, "Do you think God would have put you in this position if He wasn't going to give you what you needed to do that job?" And yeah, and in that position, God has shown me that He is a provider, and if we trust in Him, He will provide. And over 20 years, I could just go on and on about the things that I have gotten to witness firsthand. And so that just affirmed for me my whole childhood growing up with faith, and now my faith, I think, is even stronger.
I see that 100%. And me watching you help this preschool grow from when it was just maybe a couple days to week to now it's this 5-day-a-week program. And there's so many teachers and so many students that you've touched, and you still keep in touch with so many of them. And you've been so impactful in all their life, whether you maybe believe that or not, you have been. And I know that you don't like getting up in front of people necessarily and talking, but then I see you and it's just so natural for you in the preschool setting, and you being able to guide these teachers and students. And it has been a blessing watching that. And I definitely, I see the leadership skills that you have and how caring you are for the people that you lead. And so that's been something that hopefully I've picked up on a little bit. Yeah, thank you. I know it's hard to receive compliments. Okay, so we both have a lot of really powerful women that are in our life. Who has been a phenomenal woman to you?
I'd have to go back to my mom. Years ago, a book came out, and it was called Angel on Earth. And there's 5 girls in my family. And my older sister said, "Have you read that book yet?" I said, "No, I haven't." And she said, "You need to." She said, it's mom. It just describes mom. And my mom she's a caretaker. She loves to take care of people. She likes to do things for others. When she can't do those things, you can tell she gets depressed and in a funk. And it's been interesting because I've talked to her, because she says, well, that's how everybody is. Everybody helps other people. And I'm like, "No, Mom, they don't. You take care of other people." Mm-hmm. And so my mom would for sure be the most influential person in my life.
Absolutely. And your family dynamic. So as we talked about, your dad that was full of life, loved life. Then she raised 5 girls that you guys were a close family, but 5 girls under a roof maybe was a little a lot sometimes. Is that a good word for it?
In a house that had a full bath and a half bath. So we learned really quickly how to take quick showers and quick baths, because there was 7 of us that had to use the one bathroom.
Yeah. Yes. I'm a mom of 5, and I have boys and girls, and I can't imagine the strength that she had to have to raise 5 girls that are all very strong women herself. And then she's also, it needs to be said, a breast cancer survivor. Mm-hmm. And that happened, what year is it now that she's survived? Do you remember? It's in the 20s, possibly 30?
Sorry, she was in her young 50s. She actually was, and forgive me, Mom, I don't have the dates right, but my dad passed away of cancer at a very young age. He was 57-ish. And then about a year and a half, 2 years later, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. My mom is a survivor.
Yeah, so, which is amazing. And she never stopped caring for others through it.
Never.
No. So, and that's just, she's an amazing, phenomenal woman for sure. And she's going to be in the interview series soon, whether she likes it or not. she might have the same kind of feelings about this that you do. Possibly. Yeah. Okay, so what is something that you are most proud of?
By far. It would be,
Don't cry.
it'd be my family. Yeah. Most of you probably know our story for this last year. And yeah, Lisa has okay, I'm just gonna say this, I'll be honest. Tell my friends. She wasn't always the easiest child to raise. But as
I
an
don't know what she's
adult
talking about.
and what she's talking and what she's been through, I am so thankful for the way God created her. She's incredibly strong. No doors are shut to her. And if they are, she opens them. Her and I are night and day. And I give thanks that truly she helped me see that having differences is a good thing.
Wow.
It's a good thing. So that's Lisa in quick little summary. And then Jacob. And I'm thankful for him.
Jacob's my brother.
Yes, I love his sense of humor. I love how he can walk up to anybody and have a conversation. And you know, I still remember high school football game in games it was when there'd be a call and the half the crowd would be mad about the ref or the call and whatever. And Jacob would walk over and say something to the ref, and the ref would start laughing. Like what he said, I have no idea, but he just had that gift to do that. And now, to have the grandchildren that I have, 7 of them, each one of them is so unique, and it's just fun to watch how each of them are growing and developing and blooming. And and I give thanks for Dad. I give thanks for my husband that he and I both really have the same value, and number one value for us would be our families. And so I really give thanks for that.
Yeah, we definitely grew up in our world. Family was first, and we had to go to each other's games unless we had something that took precedence from it. And I, looking back as a high schooler, going to my brother's band concerts or games or whatever the case may be, was not always the place that I wanted to be, but now I understand. And I know it was always a joke that Jacob knew all the cheers for the cheer team because he was at every one of my games and he could perform them all. And yeah, I think it's really come full circle now that we're adults and we still really value that time together too. And our kids value being with each other as well. So, and that's been fun to watch them grow up as best friends for sure. Yeah. So that comes from you guys. So thank you for that for sure. Yeah. So as we wrap this up, what else does the world need to know about you? What else do you want to share?
Yeah, I wanted to just talk a moment about my dad again. I'm going to paraphrase this probably really bad, but here's what it meant to me. He would always say, at the end of the day, when you look back in your day, did you live the day in a way that you would have been proud of your day? You would have, what if this was your last stand? Mm-hmm. Would you be happy with the way you spent your day? And I think about that often. Like I say, he left us early, but I think about that often. Am I proud? Do I feel good about what I've done for my kids? So I'm thankful for the wisdom that I grew up with, and like I say, the way he lived life, he never waited until he retired because he really didn't really retire. He did everything he wanted to do in his short life. He never waited, and so he never missed down on waiting to retirement to do things. And I think that's a good message too to think about. Don't wait. There's things you want to do. You should be doing it.
Yes, I love that, and I love hearing stories. I didn't know him as well as I wish I would have had the opportunity to. I was 5 when he passed away, but I remember bits and pieces of it, and I just know that yes, why wait for things, right? And he also loved sharing everything he had with everyone, and I love that. Where sometimes people are so protective of things that are theirs, right? And he had a lot of toys, let's say, like cars, boats, gadgets, and they were never his. He shared them with everyone, and I love that, and I love that it was, if he had the gift, he was going to share it, and that life was fun. You know, it was meant to be fun and meant to live to its fullest. So
He always felt good if he owned something that wore out,
love that.
because he said that was money well spent.
I love that.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I hear stories, you know, that he lent people boats and maybe things happened to the boat, but it was okay, like, because it was just a material thing that somebody could have fun with. It wasn't the end all be all, or, you know, and yeah, so I love that. Well, Mom, I really appreciate you being my first interview. Thank you. I know this was not easy for you, but I appreciate you
Making it easier.
stepping outside the box a little bit. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. And some of the people that you guys heard about in this interview will be interviewed in the future. So thanks for getting this started.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks.